I would like to introduce Certified Elder Law Attorney Tim Crawford. He is a member of the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys and is also a CPA. Tim has been assisting families with their planning needs for over 40 years. Let's hear what valuable information Tim will share with you today.
In this video, we're going to be talking to you about preserving assets from the nursing home. The critical question is, when do I do this planning? Do I do it when I'm in a crisis, which means I'm already in the nursing home or I'm in the hospital getting ready to be discharged to the nursing home? I do it when I'm panicked. I do it when I'm got to take care of my husband or my father, or do you do it in advance? Now, when do most people do it? We are procrastinators, so we delay. We don't do things when we should be doing them. We delay, and now we're in panic. And now we've been told you've got to write a check for $9,000 to pay for the 1 month stay in the nursing home. Oh my goodness, I can see that all of Dad's money or all of my husband's money is going to be exhausted. It's going to be spent on care. And that's what happens to many families because they haven't planned in advance. Now, when you are sick and you're in the nursing home, we can still help you, but we can't help you as much as if you would have come to us when you were healthy, long before you were sick, long before you would have to go to the nursing home, or pay for somebody to come into your home to help you, or go to assisted living. If you come in long before, that is better. So, what are some rules of thumb? When you're already in the nursing home and you're single, we're probably going to be able to find good places to spend your money other than on nursing home care. But we won't be able to find good places for all of your money. It's probably going to be in the range of $50,000 to $100,000 that we're going to be able to find good places to spend it that could benefit you and your family. However, what if you're incompetent at that time? We may have no one that can legally spend that money. So one of the first things you need to do as part of any planning is, while you still have your mind, before the stroke, okay, be in a position where you have authorized somebody to do planning for you. And that document is called Authorization to do planning. You're authorizing somebody else, when you are incompetent, to do planning for you. And that may include gifting, but probably not, because you're going to be doing this when you're sick and in the nursing home, because you didn't do your planning in advance. It may include spending on things that would benefit the child you have picked to run your affairs when you're incompetent. That document, your authorization to do planning, will authorize your daughter to do that without her getting into trouble, where the financial power of attorney that you prepared will not. It gives her authority, but she is limited by state law as to what she can do. She cannot benefit herself by any of the actions she takes. So you have to be extremely careful that if you're ever going to do asset protection planning after you are sick, that you have a document called Authorization to do planning. So very, very important. Now, we've talked about you doing planning when you're sick. You may not be incompetent at that time, and you may be able to do your planning that we recommend. We would get hired, we would put a plan together for you, we would lay out strategies, and you would implement it. But many times what happens is your mind is gone at that point, and you have to rely on your loved ones that you have selected in advance and have given them authority in a document called Authorization to do planning. Now, let's back up and let's think about, why should we wait until we're sick to do this planning? Okay, well, the answer is we're procrastinators, so we don't get around to it. We don't think it's ever going to happen to us. Yet 60% of Americans will need long-term care before they die. It might not all be in a nursing home, but 60% of Americans will need long-term care. Now, knowing that statistic and knowing how high the risk is that you could lose everything paying for your long-term care costs, because the government's not going to help you until you are low assets and low income. So, what do? We try to help our clients by getting them in here when they're 60 years old, 65 years old, 70 years old, and educate them on what strategies they could implement immediately and what things they might want to do off in the future. And then we always remind them, please come back and see us when you are sick, so that we can do the last minute planning and handle the application for government benefits to pay for your long-term care cost. So we can negotiate with the government worker to make sure that your application gets approved, and that is so very, very helpful. Yet we realize there's many people out there that can help you with an application. You're in the nursing home. There usually will be people there that will assist you with the application, but they may not be familiar with what you have done in the past. So they may look at your situation and say, well, you're low asset, you're low income, we can help you apply for benefits. But what if you've done some gifting in the past? You go over, apply for benefits, and you will be denied, or you'll be told you can't get a check immediately and you have to wait a period of time before you can start getting help from the government. That time period is called the Period of Ineligibility, and it is caused by making gifts to reduce your net worth. Now, not all gifts get punished. Not all gifts stop you from receiving government benefits. So that's where we can help you. As a board-certified elder law attorney and as a CPA, I can help you with the problems of getting government assistance, whether it be immediate because you're in crisis, or whether it be planning in advance. For instance, let's take the problem of planning in advance. And we know that in the future, we want you down to a target number. We just happen to call that the lower target. It's the number we want you to be at now, so that in the future when you're sick, we can take that amount, if it's still there, and if it's not there, that's okay. But if it's still there, we know that that much money, we have a good chance of being able to find places to spend it. And that will not make you ineligible, and therefore you could be eligible immediately. That's part of what we call pre-planning. We're planning in advance. We have many, many more options at that point in time because we don't have to worry about walking over and applying for benefits the next day. So it opens up the opportunity to do gifting. Gift money away to reduce my net worth. But then I got to put my CPA hat on. And I look at your net worth and I see that you have $300,000 in an IRA. And in my case, you're single. So I look at that and I go, oh my goodness. If I cash out $300,000 today so that I can give it away, I've got a huge tax bill to pay. It may be double the tax bill if you'd have just taken it out normally, as you would be required under your minimum required distributions. So a lot of my clients will say, I don't want to do that. And I say, you know what, I tend to agree with you. I don't think I would do it either. It's a strategy, but a strategy you probably don't want to use. So then what do? We have the client hire us to develop a tax strategy. Not one that is related to your asset protection strategy, but simply a tax strategy to figure out what's the optimum amount of money to take out each year so that it's above the minimum required distribution, but it's less than 100% of the IRA. And we find the sweet spot, the optimum spot, how much to take out. And that amount can vary from year to year, so that we're taking out at least the minimum required distribution and more. For many of my clients, it's 4, 5, 6, 7 times the minimum required distribution. And the goal with that tax planning is to make sure that when we look at the tax that's going to be paid by the parent and then eventually by the child when they inherit the IRA, we look at those two taxes combined and say, is there a way to do this with less tax costs? So we minimize the tax cost of taking money out of your IRA. Now, once we do that tax planning, it has a side benefit. When you do get sick, you will not have $300,000 sitting in your IRA or anywhere near that amount. So that when we need to reduce the amount that's inside your IRA to get your assets down to the level they need to be to apply for benefits, we're not taking out as much all in one year and increasing your taxes and pushing you into a higher tax bracket. So, very important to understand that. Very, very, very important to understand the fact that you need to focus on tax planning as well as how do I get a check from the government to pay for my care. That planning should be looked at very closely, and being both a board certified elder law attorney specializing in and being an expert in asset protection planning, as well as being a CPA that understands tax law and tax planning and tax strategies, it can be very helpful to use our office to assist you in getting government benefits. Now, what we're talking about here is, should we be doing this planning ahead of time or should we wait? My vote is always to do the planning ahead of time, or at least look at it to see, would it make sense to do it ahead of time? My simple rule works this way. If you have less than $100,000 of assets total, you probably can wait until you're sick. But if you have more than $100,000 of assets and you're 65 years or older, you probably should be doing planning today, which we call advanced planning. Don't wait for you to be sick. Good rule of thumb is everything over $100,000 you could lose paying for your long-term care costs if you wait around to do your planning when you're in the nursing home, when you need to apply for government help to pay for care to come in your home, care to pay for assisted living, or the nursing home. And remember, it's very expensive. To bring somebody into your home can run $20,000 to $50,000 a year. To be in assisted living could be $50,000 per year. To be in a nursing home could be in excess of $100,000 per year. So in summary, again, plan ahead. Those who plan ahead win. Those who don't plan ahead lose. Thank you.
Thank you for listening today. We hope you enjoyed the experience of our YouTube videos. For more information, go to Tim's website at tpclaw.com. That's tpclaw.com. You can learn valuable information both from watching the series of videos that Tim has done on YouTube, and you can listen to recordings of Tim's phone seminars. On our website, you may also read and or print out many articles that Tim has written over the years. You can even set up appointments. In addition, you can find out about upcoming dining seminars that we're doing and upcoming phone seminars that we have twice a month on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and Thursdays at 7 p.m. You can even sign up for Tim's monthly newsletter. Again, the website is tpclaw.com. Thank you for watching this video, and feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified of our new releases on YouTube. Tim's YouTube channel is Timothy Crawford.